Hello, welcome to Yoga with Weights. This will be a 1 hour class using some small hand weights. I recommend you start with a lighter weight and build up over time to more weight. Otherwise, we're just using a yoga mat. If you know you're a little bit less flexible, you might want a block or a strap, have that handy. And you can always drop the weights anytime that it feels like it's more than is healthy for you. All this can be done without weights as well. And we'll start with a little bit more of an introductory practice today for people who are just beginning to add weight. And so thanks for joining us. I'm Sierra Wagner with Sierra Laurel Yoga. We'll go ahead and get started on the yoga mat. So begin laying down on your back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Starting to relax and get comfortable. Bringing your awareness to the present moment sensations that are in your body. Notice your breath. And we're going to do a few breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale. And then release. Continue with these releasing breaths. And as you exhale, you're welcome to make any authentic sound. Relaxing and releasing. And notice where you feel that releasing happening in your body. One more long, slow nose breath in. And long exhale through the mouth. Releasing. Then take your knees into your chest, hug them in with your arms. With your hands on your knees, go ahead and circle the knees together clockwise, letting your pelvis move. Feel that massage on your low back. Keeping the hands on the knees. Let's travel the other direction, counterclockwise. Noting the sensations on the two sides of your sacrum and just feeling that pressure. Notice the low back and how that's moving. And then bring the knees back into the chest together. With right hand on right knee and left hand on left knee, we're going to bring the knees up forward away from us and apart. Inhaling, knees apart. Exhaling into the chest, knees together. Inhale, knees forward and apart. And exhale in and together. So here we start to find this union of breath and movement that will continue throughout our practice, helping us stay mindful and in the present moment. Next time the knees are in, go ahead, reverse direction. Inhale, open and forward. Exhale together and towards the body. And release. Now, coming back to center, feet to the floor about hips width distance apart. Bring the arms alongside your body, keeping the knees in line with the hips. Let's press down into the feet and tuck your tailbone. Roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time, lifting pelvis and back off the ground. Then undulate the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Exhaling at the very bottom. And then let the tailbone go down. Inhale the low belly up. Begin again. Exhale, low belly in, tailbone up, roll up the spine. Exhaling, inhaling, and rolling down the spine. Try to see if you can feel every vertebrae land. Exhale at the bottom, lengthening out through the low back. Inhale, tailbone down, low belly up. So you feel like there's a fluid motion. Exhale, tailbone up, roll up the low back, mid back, and weight comes into the upper back and shoulder blades. Inhale, it's at the top. Exhale, roll down, noticing the places that feel stuck or clunky. Exhaling at the end before you bring that tailbone down and inhale. And one more. Exhale, rolling up. Feet stay grounded through the four corners of the feet. Knees stay strong and steady. Inhale at the top. Exhale down. Slowly keeping the breath moving. That's one of the most important parts of our practice. Keep the breath moving. Inhale at the bottom as the belly rises. And bring yourself back to a neutral spine. We're going to press up into a bridge pose again. This time, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. So it's kind of like you've got robot arms. Keep the head neutral without turning it. Press the upper arms and elbows down. Lift the hips up. And we're going to walk in place like a march. So weight to the left leg, right leg up and down. And left leg up and down. Try not to let your hips move up and down as well. So the hips are staying up, strong glutes, strong hamstrings, relaxed shoulders, neck, and face. So we're just walking in place, starting to warm up the legs, the hips, the back here. Get everything moving. And then as both feet come to the floor, walk them together a little bit closer. Take the weight onto the left foot, right leg up, and reach it up. Circle that ankle around. Do a few circles in each direction. Keep pushing the floor weight. Left leg strong. And then lower the right leg. Let's do the same thing. Other side. Push the right foot down. Squeeze that buttock. Lift the hips. Left leg up and circle the left ankle. Warm up through that foot and leg. You can use that releasing breath anytime you want, out through the mouth. And completing that, release down, lower the hips. We're going to roll over to the side. Coming up. Bring your feet out in front of you. The hands will be back behind you with nice straight arms, fingertips or palms on the floor. And spine lifted. Feet wider than hips width. And we're just going to take it side to side. Right and left. Exhale the legs down. Inhale up, side to side. Adding on from here, as the legs go left, bring that back arm around, twist all the way over to the left. Inhale, swing that arm back up and over. Exhale, legs and torso to the right. And up and over. Good. Let your whole spine come into this so that you're looking back, the lower, middle, upper back, and then even the neck at last. Looking back towards the back shoulder. Now we'll add on a little bow, a little mini chaturanga here. So as you come over to the next side, have your hands under your shoulders, bend your elbows back, do a little bow. down, and push back up. Inhale, rising, up and over, till you twist to the other side, hands land, shoulders with distance apart, arms strong, shoulders strong, kind of coming down with the chest. Maybe it even touches the ground. You just can come down as much or as little as you want. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale up, exhale, and a little push up, a little bow, maybe even the forehead touches the ground. Up and over, keep that moving. Note where the shoulders are when you're doing that bow, keeping them up away from the ground, away from your ears. And when you've balanced out the two sides, you'll come back to center into seated with your legs out in front of you. This is our time to grab the weights. So have the weights to either side of you. And you're sitting towards the center of your mat. Hands go behind the legs. Let's keep that low back curved in, chest open, and head in alignment with the spine as we bring the legs up. So our feet are off the floor. Bring the shins parallel to the floor, keeping the knees in close to the chest, chest to the knees. You can continue to hold the legs here if you're just starting to build some strength. Other options are to extend the arms for this. Good. And then let's take the weights and do a few bicep curls. So we're just holding ourselves steady, slowly moving up and down with the arms. Note if you tend to crowd the shoulders to the ears. Maybe you tend to slouch in the back. If you find that you're slumping, your low back is going back, you can do this with the feet on the floor as well. So we're maintaining good structural alignment here. And then take the weights down. If the feet are down, bring them back up again. Boat pose, Ardha Navasana. On an in-breath, bring your feet down, hands down underneath your shoulders with palms or fists, and reverse table. Press the feet down, lift the hips up, arms ground, and exhale down. Let's go back into boat. Hands could stay behind the knees again, arms out, or a few rounds with the weights. So when we do use the weights, that's always optional. You can drop them at any time. You can also do other variations. If you feel like your body needs something else, feel free to try variations that work better for you. After we've done 8 or 10 of those, we'll drop down, leave the weights, hands back, feet, hips with distance apart, and rise up again. Inhale. Getting a nice stretch to the front of the thighs, lift the hips. Last round, let's lower down, back into, this time we're going to go for full Navasana, either with the hands behind the legs for straightening the legs, or having the arms out. If you feel like you've got a lot of strength here, arms can go overhead. And reach yourself into a nice, long, strong V. Noticing how it feels here in your spine. Staying globally aware of your body. Bend the knees. Bring the arms back. Pressing yourself up. Reverse tabletop. And lift. Exhale down. And release. Good. You can take the weights to the front side of your mat. And stand on your knees in the center of your mat. Knees about hips width distance apart. Let's take right leg to the right, in line with the left leg approximately, and the toes straight out. Inhale the arms wide. Do a nice long stretch through the arms. We're going to a half side plank. So taking that left hand down under the shoulder, right arm up, and stretching open on an inhale. Exhale, come back up. And now we're going to go over that extended leg, gate pose, Parahasana. Inhale up. Exhale, go down. Inhale up. And to the side. Root through the standing knee. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. Good. Exhale down. Staying here. You can take that right foot straight out now, allowing your hips to do a little bit more bend at the front hip crease. Reaching that left arm alongside the ear. Option to reach the right arm alongside the ear as well. Keep pressing legs into the floor, chest open, and rolling the barrel of your rib cage so that your top ribs are back, bottom ribs are forward. Inhale, come up. Nice. We're going to add weights on from here. So option, grabbing onto the weights. Whenever we have the weights out to the side, instead of locking the elbows out straight, keep a micro bend, reminding our muscles to keep working and taking work out of the joint. Palms can flip up. Good. Stabilize that right foot forward again, toes on the ground, all four corners of the foot lined up. Inhale, open. Exhale, take that right arm up, left arm down. And open it up. And then into gate pose. Nice. Remember to keep strong in the shoulders. No loosey-goosey hanging out here. You can add in movement through the upper body more by twisting the head, looking up towards the top arm and each direction. This is a core workout, so feel the core engaged. Staying here in gate. We're going to try that same thing. Turn the right toes out. Let the hips drop into a tilt. Option to extend now through the bottom arm. Hold, breathe, dropping the tailbone down heavy. Legs are strong and bending to the side with nice, long, strong arms. Strong core. Good. Bottom arm down. Inhale, coming up with that top arm and the torso going back to center. Let's release the weights for the second side and just get familiar with those shapes on the second side. The left foot comes forward with the toes, finding good alignment with the legs. Wide chest, wide arms, inhale. And side plank, Ardha Vashisthasana. Up through the core to get you up and over towards that left leg and up. Good. So even though there's lots of action happening, pivoting with the upper body, can you see if you can instigate all movement with the center so that you're feeling held in the center, feeling supported, and feeling really the control of the action happening from the center of the body. Nice. Let's come back up. Turn the left toes out. Here we go back into our gate. Note if that knee wants to lock out, get a little micro bend there, engage through the quad, engage through the calf, get strong. As you lean over, you can also add the bottom arm into this, using more of our obliques. Drop the tops of the shoulders down and lengthen through the neck, relaxing the outer neck and inner shoulders. Good. Inhale back to center. This time let's reach for the blocks. or sorry, the weights. You can move that, those toes back forward again. With a little micro bend in the elbows, palms flip up. Let's go back into our side plank. Press the weight away. Inhale up and over. Always pushing out through the arm. When the arms are lifted, that's a good time to really extend through the arm. Get full long lines of energy. Good strength happening. Big breaths. And then here, let's turn the toes out. Go down into a deeper gate pose. When we find that front hip crease deepening, good. Bring the top arm across, push out through the arm into the weight. Option to bring that bottom arm with or without the weight with you. Good. Notice if you tend to roll forward, bring that top shoulder back, bottom shoulder tucks under. One more breath, push out, reach out, lengthen out, extend. Then top arm down and bottom arm down, back to center. Here we can use the weights kind of like we would use yoga blocks. We can put them on the ground in front of us on their vertical height. Step forward with the feet and come into a standing forward bend. Now you may not need the weights, so you can take them away. Just have your hands on the ground if that's an option for you. Here we have a micro bend in the legs. We start to feel into the weight in our feet. And get a sense of the earth underneath us. Spread the toes. Widen and lengthen the feet. Lift the arches. And ground through the four corners of the feet. Let's take the weights with us. Come halfway up, bringing the weights to the thighs. Press the thighs into the weights and lengthen the spine horizontal. So it's parallel to the ground. Lengthen out through the crown of the head and tailbone back. Shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, release back into a resting forward fold. Good, this time coming back up with the weights as an option. We're gonna just do a goalpost shape with our arms. You might wanna bend the knees more here if you feel like any tension coming into your low back, maybe too much on your hamstrings, and just creating a 90-degree angle with the elbows. And then exhale, release back, resting forward. Bend the knees slightly. Come back into that goalpost shape. This time, we're going to pull the scapula onto the back and release goalpost onto the back. Again, you can have more bend in the knees or more lift in the chest and spine if that helps. So we're doing some scaption here. Hugging the shoulder blades together and down the back. Pull the abs in. Keep the low back long. Goalpost. And elbows in. Last one, goalpost, elbows in, and release slowly down to the earth. Walking towards the front of your mat. Taking your weights with you into the chest. Come to standing, and then push the weights up towards the sky. Inhale. And lengthen through the torso, sides of the body long. Drop the tops of the shoulders down. And then hands back to the heart. And arms to the ground. So mountain pose, feet hips width distance apart. Here we're going to look at some shoulder rotation. So we're going to bring the palms forward and the tops of the shoulders are going to, let me see, the front of the shoulders. We're going to roll back a little bit, the inner arm and the pit of the elbow coming forward into external rotation. And we're going to see how that plays out when we bring the arms overhead. So again, keep a micro bend in the elbows, arms slowly up, lots of energy through the arms, keeping that external rotation. Notice that that's going to look like now the elbows are more forward, the eyes of the elbows are more back. You can take a look. And then come back down again, still maintaining that external rotation. So it looks a little different when we're in different positions. Let's go back up again, keeping that outward rotation. It may feel almost more inward rotation here, because you will notice that there's a rotation happening where this inner arm is going back. So we're going to maintain that as we do some of our movements today. From here, let's come back into our forward fold. Arms can go through the chest for those with a little bit more shoulder sensitivity, or arms could go wide again, just making sure you keep a micro bend in the elbow and lots of strength in the shoulders. And let's come down to the ground. Exhale all the way into a forward fold. Inhale with or without the weights, halfway lift. Engage core and back, getting nice and long. Exhale, lower. Let's take our right foot back. You can walk the weights with you. Then we're going to pivot that right foot in line with the left, where the front heel bisects the back arch of the foot. Take the weights into the chest, keeping the front knee bent and opening out to the side so that you can look at the knee and see it pointing over the middle toes, stacking over the ankle joint. From here, warrior two, palms up, arms extend, looking out past that front arm. Take a few breaths. If the yoga practice is newer to you, try this sequence without the weights first. You could do more on your own with weights anytime you want. But from here, we're going to take the weights back to center. Straighten the front leg. Good. Press into the front foot. Let's take the weights to the waist and do a few times, just getting a little stretch in the hips, cocking our weights to the side and then back up on an in-breath so that that front hip crease is deepening. We're going over the front leg, not forward, not back, but right over it. And that back leg remains an anchor. Really ground through the right leg. Get it nice and strong. Here, from here, as you come down once again, you can take the hand to either the leg or use the weight as a little support and take your hand to the weight either in front of or behind that left leg. Option to extend the top arm, reach the arms away, push the weight away. Externally rotate through that top arm and look up. From here, take the weight back down and actually bring it all the way to the ground. Come back up, triangle, Utthita Trikonasana without the weight. Ground through the feet. We're going to take some weight off the bottom arm. Extend the top arm away from the back leg. Option to extend the bottom arm here. Side bending. Nice long core activated pose. Really root through the legs, strong and centered, core sitting in the core. Roll open the chest, lengthen the arms, breathe. Beautiful. Top arm down, bottom arm up, back into triangle. Go ahead, reach for the weights. Bring them into the chest, come up slowly. Bend the front knee. Back into that warrior two, Virabhadrasana two shape. And then take your left forearm to the left thigh. Right arm up. And then rolling the shoulder away from the ear and bring that weight across the body. Extend leg and arm apart. Tack the belly button to the spine, keeping long in both sides. So sometimes I see people collapse in the bottom side of their body in that left side in this shape. And also keep that bottom arm rooting into the thigh so it's nice and strong in the shoulder. Take that weight down from both hands. Try the same shape again, a little easier this time. And of course, as we've been working on, you can add the side body extension through the lower body. In now our Parsva Konasana, side angle pose. Beautiful. One more breath. Keeping low in the hips, front knee bent over the ankle. Beautiful. Exhale. This time frame your front foot with your hands. Pivot your hips forward. Move the weights off the mat. And take your left foot back. Here we'll do plank pose. You can be on your knees, having your body in one line, or you could have straight legs. Either way, you're going to keep the body nice and strong and straight. Then we're going to, once again, externally rotate the shoulders, but root through the inner hands, thumb, pointer finger, four corners of the hands. Exhale down, landing on the ground. Slow and inhale into a little back bend, cobra. Lifting heart, rolling it up, shoulders back and down. Then coming into downward facing dog, child's pose. Great option here. If you're needing rest, you would take knees to the ground, hips back to the heels, forehead to the floor. Otherwise, we're in downward dog in a nice long inverted V shape. Slow, deep breaths, releasing. Here we go for our second side. Let's take the right leg forward. Reach for the weights. Pivot the back heel down. Weights to the chest. Front knee bending still. Sometimes it wants to fall in, so tug it back towards the little toe side of your foot, engaging the outer hip and thigh towards the pelvis, into the center, rolling open the front of thigh from inner thigh to outer knee, keeping that leg nice and strong. Open the arms to the sides, and look forward over your front knee. Let's gather the weights into the center. Extend the front leg. Hands to the hips. And start to work on the mobility of the hips. So we're going to move in the same plane, as the legs with the upper body, tilting over the front leg. For Trikonasana, let's slide the bottom arm down, either to the leg, just leaving it there wherever you may be for your mobility, or placing the weight on the ground. Take that other weight into your chest, pushing down through the bottom arm, and legs lift up. Push the weight away and look up. And here's our opportunity to feel spacious, open through the heart center, through the whole body as it radiates out from the focal point of the core, that center of the body, right around the navel. Taking that top arm back, down, release the weight. Then bring the arm back up, a little easier here. Good. Option to extend that top arm over and meet it with the bottom arm, both in nice lines that extend from the sides of the body. You can have them wider if you need to. You can also just be doing one arm as another option, either arm. So work it on it in whatever way is right for you. Tap down through the tailbone into the back heel, lift up one more breath, extend through the crown of the head, reach the fingers. Good. Exhale. Bring the hands down. Take the weights with you as you lift up. Bend the front knee back into that warrior two. Legs and into side angle Parsva Konasana. So you're going to have the forearm go to the thigh. Keeping the knee over the ankle is really better for the knee. The thigh is parallel to the floor. And then extend the top arm up and over into a nice long diagonal. Reach up, go up. Have a few deep breaths. Nice, good, long, in and out through the nose. Bring the hand back in, top arm drops the weight, bottom arm drops the weight. Let's go for the extension through the core, reach. Keep the front knee bending, roll open the chest. Beautiful, and breathe. Bring it back down. Frame the front foot. You can either hold the weights here or not as you step forward. Bending the knee slightly. Come up with a flat back, arms into the center of the chest, and then push weights up. Deep breath in before you exhale, hands back to heart, center, relax. Pausing here with the eyes closed, the arms can dangle. Feeling into this present moment. Opening the eyes, we'll work on some balance here. This also can be done with or without weights. We'll step the feet together. Spread the toes, lifting and spreading and placing them back down. Gather the weight onto the left foot and hug that left hip in. Keep the glute engaged, the quad, the hamstring, ground through the foot. Take the right leg up, straight out, knee straight out from the hip, foot dangling down from the knee. Place the weight on that leg so it's getting a little pressure downwards. but keep the knee right where it's at. So it's pushing back up and into that weight, getting a nice isometric contraction. So you're going to push in with the weight to the thigh to the weight. Take the other arm. Option here to extend it so that the left arm is overhead. You can also keep that hand on the hip if your balance is challenged. The gaze is centered and focused on a single point. And we're breathing fluidly. Notice if your breath wants to be static or if it's flowing, if it's jerky, jangly, or if it's fluid. Nice. Bring the weight back down. This time we're going to take the right leg over to the right. You can have that foot go below or above the knee. Option here, hands at the heart, pressing leg into foot, foot into leg, hands together, or weights overhead, extending arms for tree pose, Vrksasana. Notice your shoulders again. Find that external rotation we've been working on, which will bring the eyes of the elbow pits back. The inner arms rolling back. And then release arms, release leg. Pause and breathe. Let your foot and leg get a little shake out. Or just find some stillness, whatever feels good to you. Take a few breaths to relax. And then we'll set back up again with the feet coming together. Legs together, weighting the right foot. Use the whole leg and hip to help you balance. The left thigh comes parallel to the floor. Weight onto that leg. Push the leg into the weight into the leg. The right hand can come overhead if that is where you're at. Even if you need a wall or chair to balance, just do whatever amount of balance you can. The practice is important. Don't give up. If you fall out, come back to it again. Find your way back to a shape that works for you. Release the arm down. Pivot the knee out to the side, above or below the thigh or the knee. Hands to the heart. Roll from that outer left thigh to the outer left knee. And then arms can extend here if you want. And when the gaze is steady, the mind is steady. When the mind is steady, the body is steady. So honor the power of the gaze, the drishti, that sacred gaze, to serve you, to become one balance all together. Hands back to the heart. And find your way back onto 2 feet. Again, you can rest in stillness. You can do a little shake, a little intuitive movement for your body, or just rest. Take a few deep breaths. Let's give our hands a rest too. Take the weights away. We actually won't be using those anymore, so you can put them off and away. Step to the front of your mat. Mountain pose. This is just meaning we're lining up the body where the heels are hips with distance apart and the hips are over the heels. Shoulders are over the hips. Head is over the shoulders. Finding that beautiful line of energy. Moving vertically, rising up. And then arms rise on the next breath in as we open belly, diaphragm, and chest with the breath. Softly release down and rest. Forward fold. Step back into a downward facing dog. Extend arms forward, getting strong through the arms. The head can dangle, neck relaxed. Extend through the heels, back of the legs long. And we're going to step the feet together. Extend the left leg up and back. Have that right heel continue to lengthen. If the knee wants to lock out, micro bend the knee. Reach the left leg up and back without opening the hip. So just remain long here. Then we're going to pull the knee to the nose, abs engage. Bring the knee in between the hands or a little bit to the left. Pigeon pose. You're going to extend the right leg back behind you. Come onto your fingertips. Tug the fingertips towards the hips. Let your front body roll open. Back body hugs in, shoulders back and down. Looking up into the infinite. And then slowly roll yourself down onto your forearms or onto your head. And relax, allowing the hip to stretch and open. Softening. Greeting with love any resistance you find. Let it be there and watch what happens as you relax and breathe. Aware of the ever unfolding nature of reality, the changing shape of the body moment to moment. So here our hips are still level to the floor. If you find that left hip drooping down, bring it back so the hips are level to each other as well. If this is a lot for the front knee, you can place something under the hips, under the pelvis, or under the left sit bone. So take a little pressure off the joint. That could be a block or a bolster, a couple folded up yoga blankets. So please adjust and take care of your body if you have more sensitive knee or ankle joints. And we'll slowly make our way back up to our hands, rooting them, spread the fingers, turn the back toes under and up and back. You can move through a vinyasa flow if you want to add additional energy and movement, coming into plank, chaturanga, cobra, or up dog. And then we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Let's step the feet together again, this time lifting up the right leg without lifting the hip. Often it's just an automatic lift of the hip, but see if you can keep the hips parallel and let the left leg find extra length, root through the heel. Keep engaging the back leg up, head dangling down. Push the floor away. One more deep breath in. And hug knee to nose, curl in, strong core. Lace the foot as far forward as you, or the knee as far forward as you can. More between the hands for tighter hips. The right knee can come more to the right for those with more mobility in their hip joints and muscles. Up onto the fingertips. Breathe deep, lengthen the spine. And hug the fingertips towards the body, pulling energy into the arms. And notice how that just draws us forward and up. Melt yourself down on the next breath out and let go into the forward fold. Where has the mind wandered? Come back to the breath. Back to those present moment sensations in the body. To the reality of this moment. And slowly back up onto the hands. Let's find Adho Mukha, Svanasana, downward facing dog. One long breath here. Then on your exhalation, knees down, heels back, child's pose. Hands under shoulders, slowly roll up to seated. And then we're gonna find a side lying position. If you know you have tighter leg muscles, this would be a good time to reach for a strap for you today. I'm gonna lay on our side. You can have your right side on the ground. The right hand behind the ear on the head. So we're giving ourselves a little support. We want the hips and shoulders in line with each other. So we're not bending forward here. And then have the knees come a little bit away from the torso and engage the core. So we're using less of the position of the legs for balance and more of our center so that we can add on from here, moving into Vishnu's. Let's start with a few circles of that top hip. Again, find the core so the whole body isn't moving, just moving in that hip socket. Next time the knee is up, go ahead, stretch the leg up. You could put a strap around the ball of your foot. You could hold through the shin, the ankle. Some of us reach for the foot and hold the foot itself. Once you've got a sense of that for you, wherever that is for you today, then you can begin to straighten out the bottom leg. Extend through the bottom leg as much as you can without losing the balance. This is Vishnu's pose. We can look up towards the top foot, past the foot, to all that space above us, around us, in us. Kicking up through the top foot, through the four corners of the foot, inner and outer heels, big toe mound and little toe mound on the ball of the foot, and the toes staying active, coming towards the head. Rolling open the leg. And keeping the leg somewhat in line with the torso, as much as possible in the line of the hip and shoulder. From here, we're going to bend that knee again. Good, bring the knee forward. Then the foot goes back behind us, holding on to the foot Again, you could be reaching for a strap here, looping it around the foot or ankle. Let the head drop down so the bottom arm is straight. You're just using it as a pillow. And we're going to find dancer's pose on our side. So with an extension through the right leg, balancing on our side using the core here. That means abdominal muscles, hip muscles, glutes, pelvic floor, all of that, even into the back body. And kick into the hand with the foot, not letting the knee travel upwards, so we're staying in line with the hip, and the knee goes back, either in line with the bottom knee or behind it, if possible. Extend through that right arm and right leg. Dancers. Chaturangajasana in this interesting side lying position that's not often used. From here, release the foot. Bring the knee forward in front of the hip and onto the ground. Take your right arm forward and your left hand on top of it. Relax the neck and head. Slide that arm up and over the body, reaching into a big arc until you find that your chest is open. This knee can pop off the ground and the back shoulder come down to the ground. Open the arms wide. Option to look at that back hand. You can also give a little weight to the front leg by placing the hand on it, not pushing or pulling, just letting the weight of the arm give some more stretch to the twist. And in twist, often the body will flex. The spine will flex forward. So if you find your tailbone tucking or your body more curving in a C shape, let's bring our spine into alignment. The tailbone moving straight out, the crown of the head in the opposite direction. So the spine stays nice and long. Inhale, open that right arm out to the right. And exhale, circle the top arm again on near the floor. The hand doesn't have to touch the ground the whole time, but you're getting as close to the ground as you can as you arch overhead, behind your head, and palms back together in front of you. You can roll onto your back from here, bend your knees, and then roll onto your other side. Same sequence, second side. Placing your left hand behind your ear. Getting comfortable here, lining up shoulders and hips. Move the knees away from your torso and feel the low belly begin to engage more. And also steady yourself with that top hand. Let's circle the knee around. Here's an opportunity to start to really work with balancing on the side body without collapsing forward, tensing up, contorting in any way. And then bring that leg up, holding on to anywhere on the leg or using a strap, looking up. Extend the bottom leg any amount slowly so that you can maintain balance. Kick out through both legs, both feet. And as with all of our yoga shapes, our postures, our asana, we find that balance of effort and ease. So it's not all gritting our teeth and bearing with it. It's not all losing the energy or being overly lethargic. We're using both the moments of rest that come naturally with the out breath and the moments of effort, of energizing, of activation that come naturally through the body with the in breaths. So if we're creating a balanced inhalation and exhalation, we have more of a balanced effort, balanced action. Bend the knee. Let's bring it down, foot back. You can bend that bottom knee a little bit more to get your balance. You can always play with that, whatever amount you need. And then start to slowly drop your head down, straighten the arm out, and kick the foot back. Each of these in their own time for you. Note if the knee wants to pop up. Hug the inner thighs together as the knee goes back. And then release the knee forward. Bring the arms forward. Relax the neck and head. And slowly take that top hand, tracing a big arc along the floor. Minding the shoulder. Make sure the shoulder is nice and strong. As you start to open into that wide T shape with the arms. And to the extent the neck feels comfortable with it, you can move not only the neck, but the whole rib cage over to the right, letting the head fall to the right, balancing the twist, option to place the left hand on the knee. Maintain some core engagement and spinal awareness. Releasing the left arm back open again and circling that right arm overhead. The rainbow in the sky. So the hands meet again. From here, you can roll back onto your back. Let the legs fall to the floor. Arms turn open. Our final relaxation pose, Shavasana. As we settle our bodies onto the earth and let ourselves find rest. Softening all the most outer layers of the skin. Slowly moving down from the skin, the connective tissues throughout the whole body, especially near the joints where those tissues collect. Into the muscles. First, the most superficial muscles, and then into those thicker, bigger muscles. Into even the organs, the sense organs, the eyes, nose, ears, mouth. The organs of respiration, softening, the breath smooth, gentle. Relaxing all the organs of the body. Letting everything be just the way it is. I'm not here trying to change anything, do anything. allowing ourselves to surrender. The mind often will make up stories, will create problems to solve. We can let go of those problems, not trying to solve anything. And in that process of letting go of the fluctuations of the mind, we are releasing the samskaras, which are these habitual patterns of the mind that get us into our um, cycles of karma, our continuous movements and fluctuations. Now begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. And start to take slightly deeper inhalations and long, soft, soothing exhalations. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And bring the knees into the chest, hugging them in with your arms. Rolling yourself to the side, resting in a fetal position. And moving slowly, keeping your head and neck relaxed, roll up the spine to seated, head coming up last. Bring your hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. And we'll end with our traditional Om, taking a deep breath in. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Hope you have a great rest of your day and you join me again for Yoga with Weights.